From watching porn in Rugrats to biker lesbian women eating carpet in Cow and Chicken, get ready to have your childhood ruined. Here are some of the most inappropriate jokes that went over our heads when we were kids. Inappropriate adult jokes in kids' shows. SpongeBob SquarePants. At the beginning of one of the episodes of the hit series SpongeBob SquarePants, we see the yellow sponge enjoying some of what seems to be innocent television about undersea critters. But after he's interrupted by his pet snail Gary, we can gauge from SpongeBob's reaction he was actually watching porn. Batman the Animated Series. In the 1990s show, Batman the Animated Series, in the episode Beware the Creeper, we see Harley Quinn emerge from a large pie covered in pudding while singing a happy anniversary song in the style of Marilyn Monroe. And at the end, she says,
"Wanna try some of my pie?"
Animaniacs. The Warner Brothers show Animaniacs is filled with so many adult jokes that you can't pin down just one. From the sexy nurse to Wacko making references to getting excited and flashes of women's underwear, it's hard to believe that this show was on daytime television that was targeted to children in the first place. Rugrats. In an episode of Nickelodeon's Rugrats, Grandpa is babysitting Tommy and Chucky and showing them movies they can watch for the night. Then Grandpa introduces Lonely Space Vixens, a personal favorite of his, and then tells the kids, but that's for after you go to bed. The Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls was a delightful cartoon on Cartoon Network that targeted young girls as their audience. In one episode, the girls bring a friend home to introduce to the professor and tell her that they were made by accident. The girl then says, "It's okay, Professor. I was an accident too." Cow and Chicken. In the 7th episode of Season 2 of Cow and Chicken, the pair are visited by the Buffalo Gals, a female biker group that breaks into people's homes. What do they do exactly? Well, they eat carpet, making them carpet munchers. The Regular Show. The Regular Show airs on Cartoon Network, and they subtly snuck in an adult joke in the form of a flyer that they may have hoped would have gone unnoticed. As the characters try to distribute a flyer to a passerby, the person ducks underneath the sheet. This gives us a close-up of the flyer, which says, "Suck my morticock." Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Ed, Edd, and Eddy aired on Cartoon Network for several seasons. One of the most subtle adult jokes was found under Ed's bed, as the characters were surrounded by wadded-up balls of tissue. For anyone who lived with a teenage boy, you know what that means. Hey, Arnold! Hey Arnold is a fairly innocent show, but there are still subtle adult jokes that were still pretty inappropriate. For example, take Helga Pataki, who had a massive crush on Arnold to the point where she writes about how he makes her girlhood tremble. Rocko's Modern Life. For anyone who watched Rocko's Modern Life, we can all agree that it was one of the edgier shows on Nickelodeon because of the violence. But what most of us don't know is that the show had a plethora of sexual jokes, from Dr. Bendova to slugs looking at pornographic magazines to Rocko being a sex operator. Many of these jokes just went over our heads as kids. Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is one of the most iconic cartoons of all time, but the show made a ton of references to jokes of suicide, more specifically, references to blowing your brains out with a gun. Perhaps this is why some kids take death so lightly. The jokes are meant to be funny as kids, but adults probably weren't so amused. Well, we hope we ruined your childhood just a little bit, or at least maybe made it a little bit more exciting. Feel free to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and check out our main page.